Good morning, everyone. My name is Aliah Warsiyen, and now we will be talking about the Sama Bangingi people, Sama Bangingi. So, Sama Bangingi is a Sama. Okay, go. So, the Sama, also known as Sama or Isama, is one of the three ethnic groups in the Sulu archipelago. The others being the Yakans and the Tausog. The etymological origin of the word is not yet clear, although one conjecture is that sama may have derived from the word sama-sama, meaning togetherness. The language of the Sama is Isama or Sinama, also called Bahasa Sama, Bisla Sinama, and Pamong Sinama. Other groups speaking the Sinama language or variation thereof are the Sama Dilaot, also known as Bajau, the Jama Mapun West Sama of Cagayan Island, the Yakan, and the Bangingi of the Samales Island group. So, the Sama are scattered in conjunctious areas on the Sulu archipelago. The word are the southern boundary of the Philippines, consisting of a chain of volcanic islands between the Zamboanga Peninsula and the northeast tip of Borneo. The archipelago is divided into islands group. The major one being Basilan, Bangingi or Samales, Sulu, Pangutaran, Tapul, Siasi, and Tawi-Tawi. So the Sama people have been colonialized by the Chinese during the Sama. I the Bangingi people have been colonized by the Chinese during the 15th century. Um, this shows them was Hindu influence in the area, going by say certain words and titles like adat, costume law, and maharaja. The Chinese trade exists by at least 1,000 and certainly tribes during the Yuan dynasty. This was the late 12 I 12,700 I 12 during the 12 12 during the 1278 to 1368. Arabian music missionaries come into the 14th and 15th centuries to convert the people, and Islam have been the most persuasive influence ever since. So this is the mosque that have been introduced to the Sama people during the Chinese century. During the Chinese dynasty. Tapos, they were also colonized by the Americans, were slightly more successful than the Spaniards in colonizing Sulu because they established a public school system and won over the traditional leaders. The Carpenter Agreement, which curtailed, curtailed the power of the Sulu Sultanate and is seen by many as act of capitulation to the United States, was signed on March 22, 1915. So, international colonialization by Christian settlers began, leading to alliance between the Sama and the Protestant missionaries to build evangelist school. During World War II, Tawi-Tawi became a stronghold of anti-Japanese Filipino and Americans. The conflict culminated in the Battle of the Philippine Sea on 19 on 19 to 20 on 19 to 20 1994. It dealt creeping losses on the Japanese Navy and became one of the greatest victories of the United States in the war. Tapos, the most important occupation among most Sama group is fishing. So this is their um, hanap buhay or their occupation, well known as their occupation. So at the same time, they sell and sea they sell and gather seaweed for international market and have become a primary occupation for the communities. Traditional sea products that are still gathered are pearls, mother of pearls, tripang, seashell, and tortoise shell. Beside, cassava, which is their staple food, tenant and small landowning farmers produce rice, coconut, and hemp. In the southern part, the Sama combined both farming and fishing. A few have become middlemen taking over some of the trade dominated by the Chinese. So this was the boat that they've been using for for um uh bartering their products. So culture. So this um dito naman is the culture of the Sama Bangingi people. So traditionally, the Sama social structure had three classes. The Barbangsa, so the Barbangsa, which is subdivided into the Kasalipan and Kadatuan, the Mahardika, and the Ipon. Vestiges of the structures are remain in the present system, which consists of two classes, the elite minority and the low class majority. The elite source of wealth are the following: inheritance of the property of the traditional ruling class, trade with North Borneo, and education as a mean of entry into a profession. The last two factors allow for some social mobility. Sama kindship group of 100 to 500 members live in a cluster of houses, usually standing on a wood peeling of the seashore. Each group is affiliated with nearest mosque. This Sama community have been located with a large non-Sama town. So, the Sama are best known for their ukil design on their tepu, buras, and sunduk. The paku rabong being the favorite motif, the Sama generally prefer to make realistic rather than stylized or abstract designs. In spite of the extensive use of these motifs, each work is unique, for some artists create variations. So these are some of the examples of their handmade products or the waving products of the Sama Bangingi people. So the Sama are known for waving. So yun yung picture a while ago. The mat and tepu, the buras. Tepu is a pandan sleeping mat with four types of dyed and inwoven designs, which is the jali, tabanas, and the kuta, and then the biyu. So the Sama narrative prose of foxtale generically called kata-kata or kana-kana, is a term also used to refer specifically to its strict tails with pusung, pusong, pusong as the central character. Other Sama natives form are origin myths. Animal tales, numbskull tales, magical tale, and novelistic tales. The Sama have kata-kata to explain the origin of food, stars, and formation of land. They also have tales about dragons, angels, orcs, prince and princesses.
Hello everyone, I'm Hazel Jane Pit-ong, group of Aliah, Warsiyen. Continuation of our topic, challenges and issues. The Sama Mangingi are an indigenous people living in the Philippines, particularly in the island of Mindanao. They have been facing various challenges and issues related to their rights, cultural preservation, health, and education. Going to the land rights. The Sama Bangingi have been struggling to assert their land rights and ownership over their ancestral domains, which are being threatened by encroachment, lodging, and mining activities. This have been happening in the Sama Bangingi, part of Mindanao, that because they don't have an education, they don't know anything about the land rights. All these, all they know is they own the land, or it's they pass this by the ancestor. Their ancestral lands are being claimed by outsiders, including government agencies, corporations, and settlers, which has led to conflict and displacement. As what I said a while ago, that some of them did not finish education, did not learn anything. That's why they don't know what are they were doing. What all they know is they just own the land. Some Abangingi are also vulnerable to forced evacuation due to military operation and counter insurgency campaigns. In the part of Mindanao, as we all know, there have been many ang tawag doon, many misunderstanding that there are so many war happened there. Cultural preservation. The Sama Bangingi, the Sama Bangingi have culture is being threatened by assimilation and erosion due to urbanization, modernization, and globalization. As we all know, some of the Sama Bangingi tribe or part of them modernize, they urbanize, they migrate. That's why. Their traditional way of life, language, and costumes are being forgotten by younger generation who are more inclined to adopt Western culture. The younger generation of the Sama Bangingi morely adopt the modern culture that rather than their original. The Samabangingi cultural heritage is also being threatened by the destruction of their ancestral lands and the exploitation of their natural resources. Going to the health. The Samabangingi have limited access to healthcare service due to the geographical isolation and lack of infrastructure. They are also vulnerable to disease such as malaria, dengue fever, and tuberculosis due to poor living condition and lack of access to medical care. Mental issues such as trauma, stress, and anxiety are also prevalent among the Sama-Bangingi due to the ongoing conflict and displacement. On what I said a while ago, there are a war happening in Mindanao in past years. Oh, Sama-Bangingi is part of the Mindanao, so they were also affected by that. Their land, their tradition, their family, they were all affected by that. Education. Education is a significant challenge for Sama Bangingi, particularly for children who have limited access to schools and educational facilities. Many Sama Bangingi children drop out of school due to poverty, lack of access to education, and cultural belief that emphasize practical skills over formal education. The language of instruction is often a barrier for some Abangingi children who speak their local language at home but may not be fluent in the national language. Some Abangingi did, uh, did, did not interact morally to the modern nation. They were focused on their traditional because they want to preserve that. That's why some children choose to stay on their tradition. Some want to modernize to develop their life. We're going to the current initiative and developments, advocacy and representation. Sama Bangingi People's Association or SBPA is a non-governmental organization that represents the interests of the Sama Bangingi. The SBPA advocates for for their rights and promotes their culture identity through various initiatives including culture festivals, language preservation programs, and community development projects. The SBPA has also been involved in various advocacy campaigns, including the campaign to protect their ancestral lands from logging, mining, and other forms of exploitation. The Sama Bangingi have been also participating in international forums such as United Nations Permanent Forum on Indigenous Issues to raise awareness about their issues and promote their rights. Why? Because they some of them did not finish education. That's why they have to learn for their rights also. Okay. Community projects. The Sama Bangingi are implementing various community projects to improve their livelihoods, health, education, and cultural preservation. Some examples include agriculture projects. The Sama Bangingi are implementing agricultural projects to promote sustainable farming practices, improve crops yields, and increase food security. Health project. The Sama Bangingi are implementing health projects to improve access to health service, promote health education, and provide medical assistance to communities. Education projects. The Sama Bangingi are implementing education projects to improve access to quality education, promote literacy, and provide skills training for young people. Cultural preservation projects. The Sama Bangingi are implementing cultural preservation projects to promote their language, music, dance, and traditional practices. Environmental conservation project. The Samabangingi are implementing environmental conservation project to protect their ancestral land and promote sustainable forest management practices. Partnerships and collaboration. Sama Bangingi have been partnering with various organizations, including agencies and NGOs and private companies to support their development initiatives. This is an example, the pictures photograph on Sama Bangingi. These are also Sama Bangingi is also like part of Sama Badjaw. They have some similarities and they also have differences. I have some other information that I gathered about them that I did not include in this presentation. So let's hear it. Success stories about the Sama Bangingi. The Sama Bangingi have achieved several success stories in their efforts to promote the rights and well-being. Here are some examples. The establishment of a community led school that provides quality education to young people. The establishment of a community based health program that provides medical assistance to communities. The implementation of sustainable agriculture project that has improved crop yields and increased food security for local communities. The promotion of cultural festivals and events that celebrate the Sama Bangingi's rich cultural heritage. Overall, the Sama Bangingi are actively engaged in various initiatives and development projects that aim to address their challenges. Their efforts and focused on promoting sustainable livelihoods, improving access to healthcare and education, preserving their cultural identity, and protecting their ancestral lands. That's all. Thank you for listening.